We now have a basic understanding of how APIs present data to us and how to retrieve that data. Our aim for this video is to use JavaScript to get that data for us and display it for the user. So in order to do that, I've created a new workspace called Ajax-Test. Inside the workspace, the first thing I want to do is to create a new file, which I'm going to save it as index.html. And then we'll just put in some of our standard boilerplate HTML code. So I have my HTML element. Inside there, I have a head element. My title is Ajax Test. And then I'm going to put in a reference to a script. Our script is just going to be called main.js, and that will live in the same directory as our HTML file. Inside the body, I'm going to create a single div, and I'm going to give it the ID of data, because this is where we're going to put the data that we consume from our API. Now I need to create a new file, and I'm going to call that main.js. Now that that's saved, I can create a new variable. I'm going to call it var space XHR equals new XML HTTP request object. And this XML HTTP request object is an inbuilt object that JavaScript provides to allow us to consume APIs. So this gives us a method to open connections and to send connections and close them. So now we want to create a new function, XHR.onReadyStateChange. And whenever the state changes of our XHR object, we want to run a check. If the ready state is equal to 4 and the status is 200, then what we want to do is use JavaScript to do document.getElementById and retrieve our data div. And then we're going to change the inner HTML to be equal to the response text that comes back from our XHR object. So I'll just pop a semicolon on at the end here. Now that we have this listener waiting to see for XHR's state to change, now I need to open a connection. So I do xhr.open. I pass in the get method, which is what we want to use, and then I pass in the URL, which in this case is https://swappy.co/API/. And now I use xhr.send. So when the state changes, we'll check to see if the ready state is 4. We'll discuss what these states and statuses mean in the next video. But basically we can say that it means that if everything went well, then we're going to get our div ID of data and put the response text in it. Let's go back to our index.html and run it. And when we do, we can see that we have this JSON object that's been put inside our div. So that's working as we expected. Now that we have data displaying in our browser and it's working okay, we've covered how to do this. But in our next video, we'll step through the code and see why it works.